And I'm going to start today's second part of the show with a chat with Professor Kevin Curran, who's our tech expert. He should be joining me right now. Hello, Professor Kevin. How you doing?
Good afternoon, Phil.
Now, do I have to call you Professor Kevin, Professor Kev? Like what level are we at already?
Oh, Kevin, please.
Kev. Okay. How you doing? Anyway, Kevin, you well?
I'm doing great.
Thanks very much for joining me on the show today. So we've got plenty to talk about. I'm starting off with M&S.
Yes, MMS actually 15 weeks later after the initial attack, which attacked all their systems really, that they finally have restored the click and collect service. Again, about a month ago, they restored their online purchases really, which was down. You couldn't purchase anything in Marks and Spencer's for 2 months almost, and then now finally they've restored click and collect service.
It feels like that's a business in the modern age shouldn't have to go 15 weeks offline just because of a cyber attack. Do these people not have defenses for these sort of things?
You would hope to have, but modern systems are so complex, and especially the supply chain. And if certain key infrastructure goes down and you're not able to get it back on again, that really you are snookered. And in this case, they're estimating losses of 300 million.
Wow.
And there have been, I know a trucking firm in the United Kingdom there a few months ago that had 150 employees, and they've gone out of business, and they were in business for 70 years. Basically. So, ransomware can be horrendous whenever your systems, and if you don't have, everything backed up and the right way to get it back again, you can go out of business again. So this is mission critical for Marks and Spencer, because they would have had loyal customers for years and would have, been ordering from their site and everything else. And once it goes offline like that, people will find other avenues and they may never come back to Marks and Spencer.
Yeah, it sounds like a big blow, but they sound like they're big enough to be able to weather it as well. Okay, listen, we'll have a listen to this real quick. Lads, does this need to be 30 seconds? Do you know what? I don't know about you, but if you're a person of a certain age, I'm 39 years old, I'm getting flashbacks of shouting, "Mom, get off the phone, I'm trying to use the internet." Dial-up is ending after 30 years. Is that what we're led to believe?
It is in the United States. Again, there's about 175,000 people still who use dial-up. But of course, what you heard there was the handshake with the internet service provider again, because modems allowed us to connect to the internet over an analog line. They were the old analog lines, and you're converting your digital signal, which comes off your computer and went into a modem, and you're converting that into an analog type communication over a long distance. But of course, they were notoriously slow. You couldn't even imagine trying to surf the web now, really, with any of the dial-up modems again. And, but again, that they're shutting it down because there are alternatives again. That it's been 20 years nearly since 50% of the customers in the United States moved to broadband again, and now increasingly here in the UK and around the world that we have end-to-end fiber optic again, which is the fastest you can get at the moment, really. But there are alternatives again for these people again. So I've been teaching computer networks for 27 years, and the biggest change I've seen in recent times has been the arrival of low Earth orbit satellites again, the Starlink. Being able to connect to a satellite again, which now finally it actually makes it practical to surf the web and even do gaming on a satellite connection, because previously you couldn't, because the satellites that we used for communication were in geosynchronous orbit again, 23,000 miles above the Earth, and it was too slow because nothing overcomes the speed of light, So, but by bringing down the satellites down near, again, and SpaceX or Starlink themselves have about 5,000 satellites in orbit now, and they're going to double that in the next few years.
And like say like there's always, I know they say that like the fiber optic will be able to reach all different parts, but like I can even think of a couple of places in Ireland that like maybe are so remote that they aren't getting maybe the coverage that they need. This Starlink thing, like I mean, am I able to connect that to my phone? Am I able to connect that to my laptop? Can I, if I'm on a mountain somewhere in the middle of nowhere, am I able to connect to the internet and watch all my favorite Netflix shows on the top of this mountain?
You actually can. There's portable Starlink internet connections again. So they're little little dishes that you need a power source for, but you just roll them out and you've got internet connection very fast actually, with millisecond latency now, less than 20 milliseconds as well. So generally you do need a terminal again, something that's pointing into the sky again, because these kind of dishes are not like your standard sky dishes that we
Yeah.
have in a wall again, because they only have to point in one direction again with a parabolic dish, one direction roughly where the sky satellites are, and they don't move overhead. But Starlings move again, they're going to cross the sky and you only have a few minutes before they're gone out. And then, so these dishes that you have actually track the satellites moving thousands of miles an hour through the sky actually. So they're quite complex again. And I was just watching the reason that we're having it now is because the efficiencies of scale, that the price has come down. A number of years ago, for one of those little parabolic dish, or not even a parabolic dish, little dish that you might need to connect to a Starlink, would have cost about 100,000. Now they brought it down to about $300 again, and it's getting cheaper and cheaper because of large scale production again. So
Yeah.
the costs have sunk enormously again. So that is the future, really. Now, again, nothing beats fiber optic into your house again, because you get 2/3 the speed of light when you're going through a fiber optic cable as well. But as you said, look, there are houses in rural places again, and even some villages will never get broadband. They'll never get a good connection, because it's to do with, the companies who provide it are commercial companies. Some are even listed as again that, they have to have a certain number of people to make it worthwhile digging up the streets again, because it's always a last mile, as we say. Was the blocker for good internet connection, because it costs a fortune to dig up streets and have labourers there, and then to get permits and everything else again.
Yeah.
But of course, all modern new housing estates again, because that's been done from scratch, they all have broadband fibre into the house again, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And this next one I'd like to talk about right now. An AI researcher turns down a $1 billion pay offer from Mark Zuckerberg. Who turns that down? I mean, like, I'm getting paid $500 million to stand in for Mark Patterson this week, but, I said yes to it. But somebody turning down £750 million, $1 billion to join Mark Zuckerberg. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Again, there's a big race for AI. Again, to get the best staff. Again, someone's always trying to beat OpenAI at the moment, one of the leaders as well. But they have offered incredible salaries to some of the leading researchers out there. Again, usually from California there, but Thinking Machines again. One of the researchers again who's involved in that company was offered $1 billion over the next number of years again. So again, Alexander Wang again, he's also one of the leading researchers out there, and his team again were offered an incredible amount again. We're into the billions again for some of the staff to come and work for Meta again. So Meta is the owner of Facebook and WhatsApp again, so that they're trying again to become one of the leaders within the race for to take over who's going to have the best Gen AI out there.
Is the irony of this not that all of these people are getting paid a lot of like hundreds of millions and billions of pounds to create AI that'll come and take everybody else's job, so nobody else gets paid? Do you know? Like that's what it kind of feels like to me.
There are worries. There is no doubt that AI has been affected the job market, especially for new graduates, actually. And they're one of the people who are being hit the hardest, actually, because a lot of the low entry work that they might have done, again, to build up their skills again, have been taken over by AI again. And incredible things are being done in that field again. But so it is a worry. It definitely is a worry. I mean, from every field, from computer science actually to law to other areas again. So anything that can be done on a computer again, the tasks that Gen AI is definitely making inroads in there and removing jobs that would have been available for younger people.
Our good friend Elon Musk is back at it again. He's planning to sue Apple. What is he planning to sue them for this time?
He is, because Apple obviously on the iPhone platform and the iOS and whatever else, and they have an app store on there where we download our apps from. Again, he's complaining that his Grok, which is an AI app, again, which is kind of integrated with X, he's saying that it hasn't been presented as number one on the App Store. Again, that Apple are deliberately keeping it from being listed as one of the most downloaded apps again. So he's going to file an antitrust case against Apple, saying that they're behaving in a manner which makes it impossible for any other AI company besides OpenAI to reach number one in the App Store.
It's never dull with Elon Musk, is it? Professor Kevin Curran, our tech expert, thank you very much for coming on to the show today and sharing these with us. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Philip.